Finally, 3 years old and still going strong. Luxury concierge service Quintessentially marked their birthday here in Hong Kong with a bang-up bash on the fringes of Lan Kwai Fong. Co-founder Ben Elliot of Quintessentially joins us this morning. Dang, I couldn't make it to the bash on Friday. You had to compete against the coach party. How did it go?
Well, you know, competition is a marvelous thing. We had a great party, and we're thrilled that all of our members are there. Very sad that you couldn't be there, but hopefully you'll be there for the 4th, the 5th, the 6th, and many more that we hope to have.
You know, the times are telling right now. You know, services like yours obviously will tend to abound and do very, very well and rake in a lot of interest, a lot of business when times are good. We're going through a very tough patch in the global economy, the global markets right now. Any kind of knock-on effects on Quintessentially?
No, not at all. I mean, if you think about it and you think about the global marketplace, the thirst and appetite for the very best, and that doesn't necessarily mean to be the most expensive, but the very best in service is something which is not necessarily new. And if you think about it, if we all started realizing that the credit crunch was an international phenomenon last September, we have offices now in 45 countries, and I spend a lot of time traveling to those. I live between the UK and the US, which are the two places, according to your program this morning, that are suffering worst. We find that that we've got more members, more people renewing, and we're very proud of looking after them. I also think that we've got to a stage in terms of the global economy where there is a group that, even if certain other parts of the sector are down, this group day in, day out, because of their lifestyles, want something like Quintessentially membership. And if you look at some of the other top-end brands, there are no signs that they're suffering yet, and there's no reason why they should do.
Question, Ben. When bankers' bonuses come down, when people are nervous about the longevity of the future of their jobs, do they do things that maybe don't generate as thick a margin for you? In other words, instead of booking around the trip, around the world, Sunseeker yacht trip, do they do maybe flowers for the loved one or something like that?
Well, I mean, if they do flowers for their loved one, they would hope to be using Quintessentially flowers, so I think we'd be okay there. But no, look, I think that not all our audience are bankers. I mean, most of the people that actually we do look after are probably entrepreneurs or people who, started their own businesses. And of course, there are trends economically which mean that people's behaviors do get changed. But if you want the very best, if you want service 24 hours a day, that's why you've joined something like Quintessentially as a club. And I don't think that it affects us in the way that perhaps it affects more aspirational mid-market brands.
You're in 45 countries now, and I guess the numbers are a bit meaningless in the sense that you don't sign on 50,000 people in any one city. You do limit to 4,000 or 5,000 per.
Well, actually, less in some cities. I mean, here in Hong Kong, we feel that the absolute maximum in terms of individual members is around 2,000.
That's it? 2,000 out of 7 million people?
Yeah, well, we know that Quintessentially isn't necessary for everyone. We also don't want to, in any shape or form, dilute the service proposition that we have. And we feel that if we're offering everything to everybody, then, of course, you're going to dilute
that. Are you at 2,000 in Hong Kong?
We're going to be capping it very shortly, yeah.
But being in 45 countries, that's a big footprint. But it's kind of an inch deep in each market because it's such the top 1/10 of 1%.
Sure.
Are you making more money than you did a year ago or 2 years ago?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you think about it, I mean, our trajectory in the first 3 years, we were only operating out of London where we started the business. I moved to America 5 years ago, and we have, I think, 6 offices in that region and now 8 here in Asia. All what we're about, and this is the same as any business that has good client relationships, is getting to know our members better, getting to be proactive for them, offering them things that they couldn't necessarily do, and being a lifeline for them 24 hours a day.
Where next? What's your footprint in Asia? Where are you?
Well,
I'm assuming you're in Tokyo and Singapore?
Yeah, we're in Tokyo, Singapore. I'm off to Bangkok this evening. I've been lucky to be spending time in Shanghai and Beijing with our partners there. Had a great time in Tokyo last week. I'm going to Sydney later this week. So there's 8 offices regionally, and none of those businesses are, with the exception of Hong Kong specifically, are older than a couple of years. So the base of members they have are growing every day. And some of the concerns which any business owner would share in terms of what's happening in the marketplace, to me that seems slightly nonsensical when we're just beginning to get going.
Has the ownership structure changed? Has it expanded at all? Is it going to as you get bigger? Will you need more fundraising to finance these?
We have so far, and you know, we had lofty ambitions when we started in London, but I didn't know that I'd be sitting here Monday morning with you 8 years or 7.5 years later. So I don't know. I mean, all that I do know, and I have the fortune of staying in the Great Mandarin Oriental down the road from you this morning, which is all about service. And I was lucky to stay in the Park Hyatt in Tokyo last week. We want to be a 21st century phenomenon which becomes a yardstick for absolute excellence in terms of service. So some of the other businesses that we've created, which are sister companies to us, are just about protecting our relationship with our individual member. And you know, businesses work because customers celebrate what they do.
Finally, how are you doing up against the competition, like let's say the Centurion service from?
Well, I think they're a very corporate offering. I mean, if you want real insider knowledge in 45 cities, 24 hours a day, then you should become a member of Quintessentially.
Okay. Is there Aunt Camilla Parker Bowles one of your clients?
Of course she is, one of our founder members.
And the Prince as well?
Well, I wouldn't, I'm far too discreet to discuss royalty.
No wonder they know how to party. Good having you in town, okay?
Very
Have
nice
a good
to meet
trip
you.
wherever you're headed. Next, Ben Elliot, co-founder Quintessentially. And finally, folks,